Hi there, everyone. Welcome back to the Gardens and Graveyard channel. My name is Charisma, and today we're going to go walk around our backyard and see what is happening because sometime in the next week or so, we are going to be cutting down all of our perennials and lifting all of our dahlias. And the change that's going to take place in this garden is going to be drastic. And it'll be really fun to see the difference between this month's backyard garden tour and next month's backyard garden tour. So let me turn the camera around and show you what's going on. Things are looking tired. The birds are like everywhere. The chipmunks are everywhere. And yet we still have a few blooms left. So it's kind of fun. All right, now I have the camera turned around and we'll take a walk around the backyard. Immediately you can see right here that we have snapdragons still blooming. And honestly, that's the biggest color we have happening in the garden right now. And we have a red one right here too. So pretty. All right, so let's go ahead and walk straight through to the moon garden because this time of year we typically divide our whole garden, our whole property by two instead of room by room because not as much is going on this time of year. However, you can see the moon garden still has a lot of beautiful things happening, which is super fun. So the double up begonias have more or less stopped blooming except for this one, which seems to be kind of happy right now. But they haven't succumbed to the rain as badly as they will eventually. Like all these bare stems, that's kind of what the whole plant will look like before too long, and then I'll just cut it to the ground and they'll come back next year. Still have some black prince snapdragons growing and blooming, and then we've got our white impatiens. And I cannot believe how beautiful these things are. I mean, just stunning. So stunning. Totally worth having in the garden. The angel wing is still looking really good. And then I put our baskets underneath this bench here to protect them a little bit. So they're still doing okay. And we still have a little bit of activity going on in this raised bed with the snapdragons, the Dusty Miller, and one last cafe au lait trying to open up right there. Well, we'll just take a peek down here. Not a whole lot is going on in the lower garden this time of year. So instead of walking all the way down there, whatever, we're just gonna kind of cruise around, take a look. Everything's kind of a little bit dormant at this point, except we do have a few Limelight Prime hydrangeas with a little bit of blooming still. Just kind of fun. This is their second full season in the ground. They've been in here for like 2.5 years. I don't know if you could see the squirrels running around in there. And then, of course, we've got my favorite Himalayan honeysuckle, but you could see that the rain has definitely worn these guys out. It's just about time to do a little bit of cutting back on this thing, some selective pruning. So we've had 3 days of really hard rains and thunderstorms. So to see things looking as good as they do right now is kind of surprising and really fun. But I know that the cold weather is coming, and that's when everything will really go down. So we still have a few blooms on. Can you see the? Hi, beautiful. It's also hanging out up on the snapdragons too. Bird, hello. Kind of a rare sight to just see them sitting somewhere, chilling out, especially with all the blue jays and stuff that are around. She's going back for her vermillionaire. She loves it. Oh, isn't that so much fun? All right, so this is a geranium here that's in full bloom. And I'm not going to get too close, but you've been watching the hummingbird on our vermillionaire, which is just still full of beautiful orange and white blooms. And next to that, even though it's getting a little stretched and a little leggy, we still have a couple of the black cosmos on that perennial cosmos right there. Of course, the creeping Jenny still looks pretty good, but all the rest of the flowers have faded away for the year. And going this way, we do have a few little roses that look like they want to bloom, but they're not open right now. So we're not going to go back that direction. In the containers, everything has gone dormant. But I am seeing a, a little tiny Crispidia that wants to bloom still. These guys are going to get transplanted into a new area this week when we take out all the perennials or cut down the perennials. And then we've got these mushrooms that are just so wild. That's the only place they are. I don't know anything about mushrooms. We're not going to try to do anything with them other than when I pull that Crispidia out of there. Um, we're just going to dispose of the soil because I'm just not sure what is causing the mushroom activity, but it'll be great in the compost. Behind that, we've got our raised bed full of dahlias, and you can see that I've been slowly cutting them down. The idea is to get them down to like 6 inches or so above the soil line, and let them kind of harden off a little bit and not keep pushing new growth or new flowers. And then you do that and leave them there for a week or two, and then you can lift the dahlia tubers safely. We have just this little bit of color left on those ones. There's a pink and yellow one trying to bloom over there, and that's kind of it. Like maybe this magenta one will open in the next 2 days because we're supposed to have some sun. I was hoping that this one that just is broken. Yeah, I was hoping that was going to open in the sun, but it looks like a blue jay probably landed on it. We've had blue jays like crazy out here today. All right, so swinging around here to Spencer's garden, the snapdragons are still going strong and loving their life. They're going to pop open again. At some point, I have to make an executive decision and just cut these guys down for the winter so that they can have enough energy to come back in the spring. We still have a few yellow blooms down there, and the black-eyed Susan vine is still going. Can you believe that? Some days she looks real tired, and then she bounces back. So we're just going to leave it in there until it totally succumbs to the winter, just to see how long it lasts in the garden. Spanning around here, you can see I cut down the honeysuckle vine again, and I'm actually going to get rid of this honeysuckle vine because I just cannot defeat the powdery mildew on this thing. I just can't get ahead of it. So we're going to do something different here next year, but for now, we just cut that down, and we'll have to move that dianthus. Then over here, we've got our cannas, and they are the foliage is still looking pretty good. The flowers are pretty much done. They've just got this fantastic fall color, though, don't they? All right, so we'll just keep moving along over here. Not a whole lot going on anymore. The hellebores are The foliage is looking really good. I've been looking underneath to see if any flowers are coming up yet. Not just yet. I don't expect to see them until like late December. So we got a couple months on those. And we still have just a little bit of activity on these last remaining hostas, I think because it's a little bit more protected back here than in other areas where they get pelted with rain. Those hostas are pretty much just gone now. The butterfly bush is kind of splayed out from all the rain that we had this last week. And then over in this area, we still have some snapdragons coming up out of the containers there, but the pansies are all done. And then over on this side, everything's just kind of, the evergreen business going on. A little bit of fall color on these Wagellas. Are taking their sweet time this year. My fall color is just not that vivid still. Yeah, we've still got some. I keep cutting on this chard for months and it just keeps coming back. So this is a little fun little bright spot in the veggie bed here. And that's kind of it for the backyard. We will take a little look in the greenhouse to see what's in there right now. And then I'm going to pop out into the driveway and show you our impatiens because they still look amazing. Ish. Okay, greenhouse is fairly empty. We just have our glow-in-the-dark petunia there that's still blooming. So much happier in the greenhouse than it was out in the garden this year. Just a little bit of activity on our lemon verbena, and our feverfew is looking a little tired. And of course, the flowering maple it has some flowers on it. But I remember last year it kind of went like half dormant, and then came back a little stronger in early spring. I'm getting ready to do a little greenhouse rearranging, cleaning. It needs a good soap and water wash down, which it's so cold. I hate being out here and being wet, but it's a necessary chore in order to keep my plants happy. All right, so we're here at the back deck, and I just want to give a little update on the pond. We've got it covered up right now. Things are, everything got planted in here this year, so they're doing fine. And I guess this little hosta's hanging in there too, a little bit. And then what I really wanted to show you was these impatiens, which I think I showed you last month, and they were like maybe 16 inches tall or so. They are now a good 24 inches tall. I mean, they are almost to my shoulder when I put my hand all the way down in there. Isn't that wild? I've never deadheaded these. I stopped fertilizing them at the end of August. They just keep growing. They do look a little tired at the moment from all the rain that we had the last few days, but I'm also seeing so many buds on here. Now, I don't know how long these are going to last, but I'm loving them. So tell me, should I be cutting these impatiens back like midway? Usually by this time, they've completely died back, and then I've tried cutting them back to see if they'll come back in the spring, and they don't, or they haven't in the past. But I'm kind of curious now that I've seen them grow like this year, which they did get a lot more consistent fertilizer all through the month. I'm kind of wondering if I would have cut them back in like mid-July, if I would have a more compact, even bigger impact bloom cycle on them. I don't know. I find it very interesting. Also, excuse the neighbor's chainsaw if you can hear it. That's why I've got my microphone. It is garbage day, so the trucks are running around and the neighbors are being noisy. So, yeah, hopefully this little guy helps us have um, a better experience. One last thing before we say goodbye, I just wanted to show you these Super Tunia, or excuse me, these Proven Winner Super Bells. Again, so much later in the season than I ever expected to see these guys blooming. I don't know what the deal is, but to have even that much color and then to have that much color around my back deck this late in the year, it's pretty awesome. Okay, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you're celebrating your life, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Bye.